Hello, hello. Today we are going into the next directional reading for Idaho. There's a lot of new people watching these, and I feel like I probably should have been saying this in the beginning of the other videos as well, but any Idaho reading that has like north, south, east, west of direction in the title isn't necessarily like a standalone reading, and it may not make that much sense if you just watch that video, because there's a lot of other like references and nicknames and stuff that have come from the previous videos. Essentially it's like one investigation broken up into a bunch of other little videos. They're in the description of this video. I'm going to put the link about the plan for my Idaho reading so that you can see how it developed into like what we're doing now. Hopefully that will help it make sense. But if there's certain things that you're like, what is she talking about? What is that name? What is that? You might have to go back a couple readings to see like how those pieces of the puzzle developed. But also if you watch the video in the description that says the plan for my Idaho readings, that will help you see how it's coming together as well. But anyway, we're going to go into the next direction, which is northwest. Yeah, so let's start. I was gonna say something else and I don't remember what it was. I guess it wasn't important. Okay, so the first one is some kind of text messages between the girls when they were out that night, and the police have a suspect, and this reading was on 11/28, or someone they feel is sitting on information. So some kind of text messages between the girls when they were out that night. Queen of Pentacles. Ironically enough, everything I just said that like about the nicknames and this might not make sense, this is the card that's represented the link in all of the readings. How do I put that very shortly? Big organization, woman in charge, calling the shots. We call that woman the link. She has been represented by this card for like maybe 20 readings. Seven of Cups, clouded judgment. It's weird because Seven of Cups is like searching for answers amongst different avenues. Some kind of text messages between the girls, and the police have a suspect or someone they feel is sitting on information. It has to be Adam. Because in the previous readings, I was saying that I felt as though Adam wasn't maliciously passing on, like Maddie tells Adam something that is like heavy topic, right? Something that she was being very strategic to make sure that she safely said and didn't just blurt out. Got a little too drunk, asked Adam, I believe, to set up a meeting between Hierophant in reverse, like challenging personal beliefs. The Hierophant in reverse is also like, okay, that strategy wasn't working. Let's get a new strategy. Oh boy. Why does this make me feel like the police know who the link is? That's what I'm getting here. I'm getting that Adam was setting up some kind of meeting for the girls to talk to someone, And then we have text messages between the girls, and police have either a suspect or someone they feel is sitting on information. And that was, I said that on 11/28. Brian was arrested on 11/30, so like a month later. If they got that information about a potential meetup and put it together, they would have had a month to trace that back to oh boy. I want to look something up. Hold on a second. So, okay, so on 11/28, I said the police have a suspect or someone they feel is sitting on information, and there's something about text messages between the girls when they were out that night. Then we got the link, clouded judgment, or searching for answers. And then the Hierophant is like a new method of doing something. I just looked it up, and it says that, well, like the earliest link I could find for the video where it says, what did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything, that video. It looks like that was released around 12/19. And then Brian was arrested on the 30th. I almost feel like, and I don't want to say too much here. I almost feel like it's possible they did get something from Adam. Or maybe off of his phone or something. I'm going to pull a card to confirm, but I almost feel like that video was strategically released at that specific time. And I believe that it's because they got some kind of information, traced that information back to the link, skipped over that, and just traced it all the way around to Brian. So like, I'm drawing it, hold on. Adam, link, it's a really bad drawing, Brian. Adam, they got something from Adam, traced that information, got to like the link's role in it, but didn't do anything, went around the link and just got to who actually committed the crime. Especially with the Hierophant in reverse, it's like an unconventional way of doing something, and it's like having, I have to sneeze again. My allergies are like not, hold on. Oh, excuse me. My allergies today, not my friend. Crap, what was I saying? So it's like they traced back in order to find the suspect. They went through the link, but like left her alone. It's like that's how they found who did it. But like they like discovered this trail that led to this person, and then that person led to the person they had proof that did it, but they ignored that person was a role in it. I have to blow my nose. Be right back. Okay, let's get to the next one. The girls started calling ex-boyfriend when they heard something downstairs, and 9 of Swords reversed and 9 of Wands reversed. The girls started calling ex-boyfriend when they heard something downstairs. So the 9 of Wands reverse is like, I'm doing what I want, not what you want. We're not compromising here. And then the 9 of Swords reverse is like getting help for something that you're stressed about. And both 9s being reversed is giving me the image of like the yin yang symbol, but like instead of like the 9 and the 6, it's just the 6, like only the bad, like being overtaken by like the bad energy. The next one is there was a one-sided debt. Knight of Cups. Ace of Swords. Oh boy. This reading is going to be a heavy one. All right, so what I'm seeing is the 9 of Wands. I previously said it in the reading that I felt like there was someone who told the girls that night, don't talk about that, and then they did anyway. I believe that that person could very well be the ex that was at the bar. Now we're getting 9 of Wands reverse is like being stubborn, it's being paranoid, it is like, I'm gonna do what I want anyway, no matter what you tell me. And then the 9 of Swords reverse is getting help for something that you're stressed about. And then we have the Knight of Cups, which is a very romantic energy, but it's coming with the Ace of Swords, which is like realizing the truth or having like a big like revelation. Why is this making me feel like it's possible that I'm not going to accuse anyone directly. I'm just going to say this. I think that there's people who knew that people were going to get roughed up that night and they chose to not do anything about it without realizing that it would turn into what it did. I'll say it this way. I previously was giving the ex the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, maybe he was sleeping. Maybe he just didn't hear the phone. I'm honestly not feeling that way anymore, but I'm not feeling like it was something like, oh, I'm setting them up to die. There's a lot that people know in that town that they're just not saying. And I think that some of those people are being looked at as people that had no idea what was going to happen, and I just think that they didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but knew something was going to happen. Five of Pentacles reversed. Recovering a financial loss. And the next line is there was a one-sided debt. It feels to me like there's one of two possibilities here when it comes to the girl started calling the ex-boyfriend and he didn't answer. Possibility one, in my mind, allegedly my opinion, all of this is allegedly my opinion. Possibility one, someone told the ex to not accept those phone calls before they even started happening. Option two, somebody was there and physically kept him from being able to answer the phone. Not in like a hostage situation, but like a distraction or like a, hey, let me use your phone. It's something. Did the ex know the phone was ringing when the phone was ringing? Two of Cups reversed and Six of Swords. And High Priestess reversed. Did he know that the phone was ringing? Two of Cups in reverse would be a breakup. That would be indicating the X in this situation. The Six of Cups is a transition. It is leaving something behind. And then the High Priestess being reversed here is like not seeing things clearly, having clouded insight. I think he knew that phone was ringing, to be honest with you. I don't think he was saying in his mind, okay, let me just not answer so they can just go get murdered. I don't think that was it, but I think that he knew that he wasn't allowed to answer that phone. And the next line is that there was a one-sided debt. So does that have anything to do with what I just said? Judgment and Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Yes. Yes. The Judgment's like a final decision you can't go back from. It's also like a wake-up call. So like not realizing what was actually going to happen and then realizing it later. And then the Seven of Pentacles being reversed is like not looking ahead. So in the moment saying, oh, okay, I won't answer my phone. And then waking up the next day, realizing what happened. What is the one-sided debt about? Two of Pentacles, trying to weigh different things. Four of Swords. These two cards to me are giving me money, something that alters your reality, and something that makes you feel okay inside. It seems to me the one-sided debt had something to do with money owed for substances. And the one-sided debt, the Four of Swords, is also protecting yourself. The Two of Pentacles. It's almost like somebody threw somebody under the bus to protect themselves, but not directly. Not like, oh, here's this person I'm throwing under the bus, but like their actions or lack thereof is what threw somebody else under the bus. And it's their actions or lack thereof was because of a debt owed. Like, you owe me, you have no other choice but to do or not do this. Not realizing that that was a part of what would happen. There is something preventing police from seeing things the way they need to. Again, this reading is like one of the first readings, so it's a long time ago. And the next one is killer had someone in his ear hyping him up. So how do they connect? Ace of Pentacles and Temperance. Something is preventing police from seeing things the way they need to. They want to try and make it go away, keep the peace, and there's money changing hands. Killer had someone in his ear hyping him up. What can we know about that person? Queen of Wands and Hangman reverse. A delay by a female. Killer had someone in his ear hyping him up. It's weird because I don't think it was a female that was in his ear hyping him up, but I think that it was through a female, like probably the link. Oh, we already had the Queen of Pentacles, so we can't have that card come out again. It's like the link had someone keeping tabs and communicating with Brian, allegedly Brian, so that he would keep that same enthusiasm about this. Like, somebody was in his ear hyping him up, but it was because the link had told them to do so. And the Hanged Man being reversed is like not being all the way interested in something. So I almost feel like whoever was in his ear hyping him up was there because they didn't want him to talk himself out of it. Sorry, that's the trash truck. I'm sure that's very loud. Okay, oh, interesting. Okay, so the next one is, again, I don't know if I said this, but this is all available in the Dropbox link below. Everything that I've done so far is all in outlines and available for you to also look at. If you go to the link tree, it's the 10th all the way at the bottom link. It takes you to a Dropbox, and in the Dropbox are all the files. Okay, anyway, the next one says, police are trying to prove that the killer was not with their phone at some point. So the person in one place and the phone in another. The Fool in reverse, which is kind of ironic because it's like having a lack of direction. So it's almost like saying the police are not necessarily using the phone. Oh my gosh, my eyes are so watery. That's how they found the link. Someone's in protective custody. I can tell you that right now. I just got that really strong. Someone's in protective custody. 7 of Swords reverse, getting caught. Also, like, that would be like if your conscience is weighing very heavy on you and you end up spilling the beans about something. And I just said, I feel like someone's in protective custody. In a previous reading, I said I thought that someone besides just Brian was going to turn on the link. Well, I feel like that's what happened. Someone turned on the link. So the link is the woman who's like calling the shots, right? So someone turned on her, is in protective custody. They used that information to get to the killer, but bypassed having the link get in trouble for anything. It's really... yeah, that's what I'm getting. Because the Fool reverse would also be like being scared to do something, like taking a step forward, being like, oh, I don't know if this is a good idea, and then eventually doing it. But the 7 of Swords being reversed, since it's about getting caught, it almost makes me feel like they backed someone into a corner. That person had no other choice but King of Pentacles reversed. Oh. Should I say what I'm thinking? Really? Okay. Would that not be unsafe for me to say that? 8 of Cups. Oh. All right, I'm going to put it this way so that it's not directly pointing to one specific person, because I'm going to be worried about safety. I do feel as though one of the surviving roommates is the person who turned on or gave information about the link. I don't know if that person will have to testify in open court about this. And I'm not going to say which surviving roommate I think it is because I don't want to jeopardize anyone's safety. I do have an idea of who I believe it is, but I'm not going to say that. So essentially, I believe that one of the surviving roommates gave information to authorities about the link, or at least about Brian's connection to the link. I don't know what it is. One of them told something. And they, so essentially replace this A with surviving roommate, right? So surviving roommate told something and they used that information to get to the killer, but they had to go through the link to get there, but they didn't do anything to the link. That's what I'm getting. Very strongly. Okay, so the next line is, in quotes, somebody is pulling the strings somewhere along the lines. Interesting. The Tower in reverse, avoiding disaster. Page of Cups. That's wild because I said that the link has a very deeply wounded inner child, and now we're talking about the link has influential parents. Huge clue. The link, her parents have some kind of influence or authority or power or respect, something. It's not necessarily the link herself that has this power, but her parents have it. Page of Cups, Tower reversed. I said that her inner child is very wounded. The Tower reverse is negligence, and yeah, the link's parents are the ones that are feared. It's not her, it's her parents. I mean, it may be her too, but on like a wider known scale, like when people think of her, they think of, oh, I don't want to mess with her because of her parents. Because of who her parents are, were. I don't know if they're still alive or not. I mean, I guess it could be like family in general, but I'm feeling like it's parents. There may be other people involved in the aftermath of this. The Magician. Making things disappear. Ten of Swords. Making what disappear? The knife. But the Ten of Swords is also betrayal. So I do believe that there's people who were involved in the aftermath of this that are not necessarily protecting the people that they were supposed to. I think that there's some people that are keeping quiet, but I think that there's at least 2 to 3 people who have already talked about what they know that they weren't supposed to. And I think it's because of the pressure on police, but I almost feel like the police were able to directly pressure the right people because they discovered who those people were through the link. And I guess there's a chance that police don't realize that this woman that they're getting all these connections from, like, not directly, but like tracing to her and then figuring out a connection. Tracing to her, figuring out a connection. I don't know if they don't realize that she is involved in something nefarious. I feel like they'd have to, or like willful blindness. I don't know. Something about the road trip is setting up a reasonable doubt defense. Someone with power or influence was Someone with power or influence was contacted on the trip by phone, text, email, etc. Seven of Wands reversed. That's like, okay, you win. King of Wands. It's almost like maybe, maybe Brian's parent has a connection through the Link's parents or parent. Why do I feel like that's what it is? Page of Wands. Holy crap. So the Page of Wands would be about discovering who you are. Three of Swords and the Hermit. It's possible that how Brian became connected to the person that is the Link is because his parent has a connection to her parent. Through some kind of organization. This is weird. All right, let's keep going. Something delayed this attack being able to begin. It was supposed to begin earlier, or it ended up taking longer than planned. What was the reason for that? Death, Four of Cups reversed. Interesting, because Four of Cups being reversed is like, okay, snap out of it, snap out of it. It has something to do with Ethan. Ethan is the cause of this being delayed. It's also, like, if you look at the card upright, it's someone offering a cup, like, out of the sky. So it's like putting something in Ethan's drink. And then death can be like a symbolic death and rebirth. So if someone's giving him something that I believe made him very tired or stomach hurt or something, like, that would be like a death and rebirth, because you feel very sick, you feel like you're dying, and then you wake up the next morning and you're fine. And then the Four of Cups being reversed is like, okay, snap out of it, snap out of it. So it's giving me the image of someone putting something in his drink and that being the cause of the delay. And or that being the cause of it taking longer than expected because he's supposed to be sick or sleeping or not there or something, and he is there, one, catches the killer, two, and then makes the whole thing take longer, three. Someone who is helping Brian in some way lives southeast direction of King Road. And this reading was before we had the Devil. This reading was before we had the map of which way he went, and it did turn out that he ended up going southeast. And I believe it's to drop someone off. And then we got the Devil. Three of Wands, waiting for someone. The Devil was sitting in the car waiting for Brian to get done. And the Three of Wands is also foresight. So it's like sitting in the car, looking ahead. Okay, when he comes out, this is what we're going to do. And the Devil has the chains there and everything. And that's making me think how I said that I had a vision of like whoever was in the car with Brian, like them not talking at all. Like they didn't talk, they didn't say anything. It was really weird. As in after the murders. Like he's driving in the car to drop someone off after the murders. He gets in the car after this. They don't speak. And this would really point to that for me. I also said that it seemed like Brian was more book smart, but the other person like had a lot of either experience or like not school-led knowledge about crime or something. And the Devil to me would indicate that, because it's like the person who was with Brian is being represented as the Devil that was waiting for Brian. So if that's the person that's more experienced criminally, that would be the person that's representing the Devil. And then Brian, in this case, would be like the Devil's minion, so to speak. Some kind of conflict about money involving Dylan. Eight of Swords reversed. Ace of Cups and Six of Pentacles, a one-sided debt, and the Holy Grail. Why do I feel like, I don't know. Some kind of conflict about money involving Dylan. This card's about escape. This is like the Holy Grail. So like, here's this piece of information. Six of Pentacles is a one-sided debt. I feel like Dylan passed on some kind of information too. Because the Six of Pentacles reverse is also like an unequal power dynamic. And it's interesting because we have the Ace of Cups here, and the next line is that Dylan has an emotional connection to a male energy, and that male has a connection to someone else that involves drugs. These cards are painting the picture to me that Dylan had some kind of debt that she was trying to get out of, and part of that payment was to give something to someone, some kind of information or, yeah, information. It's information. What can we know about the person that Dylan has an emotional connection to a male energy, and that male has a connection to someone else through drugs? Queen of Cups, Knight of Swords reversed. That would be about the person that she has an emotional connection with, forcing her to do what they want. This is a very forceful, brute, pushy energy. And then this Queen of Cups is confirming that this is someone that she has an emotional connection with. We also have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups and Queen of Cups. There's definitely a lot of emotional manipulation when it comes to Dylan. But I wouldn't blame it all on that. I do think that she made her own decisions as well to get herself into this situation. But I also do think that she's being heavily emotionally manipulated. But I feel like it's because whoever it is, the male. Okay, so Dylan has an emotional connection to a male, and that male has a connection to someone else through drugs. I believe that the debt owed is from the male. The male owes a debt. Dylan is a piece of this plan of the males to alleviate this debt owed. I believe the male knows a little bit more about what was going to happen than Dylan, but Dylan was emotionally manipulated into only seeing things to a certain extent. Okay. Dylan is a force behind trying to cover something up, and Dylan is protecting two people, boyfriend and someone else. Just happened to be the next two lines. 10 of Cups. The Moon in reverse, secrets being revealed, Page of Swords, talking about it and not doing it. Yeah, it's... someone that Dylan trusts has an ulterior motive for the emotional manipulation that they are putting on her. She is not realizing it. She is not spreading this information to others because she still feels like she wants to protect this person. So it's not that it's not that her and that person, their relationship is bad, but I think she does know to some extent that that person is wrapped up in something that's a little bit deeper than she realizes now. The Moon being reversed makes me feel like how do I explain this? I feel like this is very important to understand. Okay. It's trash day. Okay, so this is like an example of what I think could have happened. So Dylan has someone, a male, she has an emotional connection to. That male owes a debt. That male has owed a debt for a little bit of time, has been pushing it off. Oh, this person owes me, that person owes me, blah, 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 blah. That male is also connected to the link. Okay? I feel as though Dylan was instructed to ignore something, do something, not do something, not directly related to the act of the murders, but something that she did not know until after helped allow for the murders to happen. I think that it's definitely ingrained with a lot of emotional manipulation. But I do think that looking back now, she's able to see it clearly, but there's nothing she can do. Because if she were to give the information that she has, it would be turning on that person she's trying to protect, even though neither one of them actually had a hand in the murders, but didn't realize until after the fact that what they were told, instructed, or led to do allowed for the murders to take place. Allegedly, my opinion. There may be evidence planted somewhere that could be used at the right time to create reasonable doubt. 5 of Cups. Four of Wands reversed. Something that wasn't in his home. I said that there's something buried near his apartment. That's making me feel like it's what this is, because this is outside of the home. And then okay, so I said I believe that there's something buried. Did I say 5 to 10 miles or 5 to 10 feet? Like it looked like Brian took something and hid it outside, but near the apartment, his apartment. This is what this is representing to me, especially with the image on this card, because it looks like something like a hole in the ground where something could be thrown in. And then the 4 of Wands reverse upright is the home environment, but in reverse, it's like outside of the home environment, near the home environment, not in the home environment. I wonder if it's possible that at a certain point in trial, Brian may be like, if it's not going his way or something, he may be like, okay, hold on, let me tell you where this is buried, and it points to this person. Sun reversed. That's possible. Because the sun reverse would be like Brian thinking, oh, this is gonna do it. If I do this at the right time, this is gonna do it. Very conceited energy. And it's also like a temporary discomfort. So that could be symbolic of like something being hidden, and the temporary discomfort of like not having to have that in your possession the whole time, but only going and getting it when needed. He has something up his sleeve. I don't know what it is, but if he uses it at the right time, it's going to be really bad. I can tell you that. But if he uses it at the incorrect time, I gave this example before. I just want to give it again because I feel like it was a good one. So imagine you're in a car and you're driving down a street, and on the entire length of the street is a brick building. Brick building, the entire length of the street. So this would be like if Brian's in the passenger side of a car and he has a rock. Well, not Brian. Well, yeah, Brian. Brian's in the passenger side and he has a rock in his hand. And he's in this car, and this car is going to speed down the street as fast as it can. Now, there's this whole building that is just made out of brick. But in this building, there's a really tiny little glass window in a random spot on this wall. Now, when this car is speeding down the street, if Brian can throw this rock at the right time, not knowing when that right time is, not getting that second chance again, but if he just happens to throw this rock at this window at the exact right time and hits it, he'll be able to climb out and be free. But if he throws the rock any other time and hits just the brick wall instead of the window, he loses the rock forever, he can't use it again, and he didn't hit his mark. That's what I'm seeing. Like, he has to get it at the exact right time for this, whatever it is that he has, to actually have a positive effect for him. But if he does throw that rock at the right time and it hits that window, he's getting out. It's almost like if he hits it at the right time, there's nothing that anyone can do to stop it from going any other way than it being him released. But again, let's say the wall is represented by 200. The window in the wall is only represented by 0.5. So it's a very, very small target that he has to hit. But if he throws it at the right time, he could hit it. Bethany and Dylan saw people in the driveway on the night of the murders. A drug connection and Brian. Justice and Knight of Pentacles. They saw someone that is some kind of drug runner. And justice is like accountability. So that would be about I don't know if you can hear that. There's people like right outside, but I don't know where they're coming from. Wow, I said Bethany and Dylan saw people in the driveway on the night of the murders, and then I just The Knight of Pentacles is like a knight that is very slow and doesn't really, out of all the knights, he's the only one that's like not galloping or moving. I almost feel like they... Nine of Pentacles reversed. It's like a workaholic. I almost feel like they saw someone, maybe not in the driveway, but like noticed someone around the house. That would make more sense. If they saw someone in the driveway, that would be like, oh, why is people in my driveway? I'm feeling like one or both of the surviving roommates saw someone either circling the house or sitting by the house and watching the house, but not realizing, obviously, that it had anything to do with this. But if they saw someone circling the house, that would make sense why one of them would potentially lock themselves in their room, because it's like, oh, there's someone circling the house, a little weird, I'm just gonna go to bed. As opposed to seeing someone in the driveway, where that would seem like more of a dire situation. Like, why are these people right outside of my driveway? I do feel like they saw someone either sitting by the house, watching the house, driving around the house. They saw something. All four victims know who the person is who is the link. It's someone further along on their life path than them. Which is interesting, because the very beginning of this reading started with the link card. And I believe that it was Adam trying to set up a meeting about what the girls knew. The Star in reverse. Sorry, that's really loud. 10 of Pentacles reversed. I said that I felt like it wasn't the link that was prominent necessarily, but it was definitely the parents that were. It's almost like the four, or at least Maddie and Kaylee, knew who the link's parents were, and were very surprised to find out that she was the person that was involved in this, knowing who the parents were. That's what it is. Holy crap. That's what it is. They may or may not have known her directly. I feel like they did, but maybe didn't know exactly her involvement in this. But they knew who her parents were. And when they realized that, they were like, holy crap, I can't believe that that's the person that's involved in this. Someone will be arrested for a crime that doesn't relate to this investigation, but it is because of this case. Wow, I was just about to say, I wonder if that has anything to do with Xana's mom, and then we got the Empress, who shows a pregnant woman on the card. 8 of Wands. It's to get her talking. Or to make sure she doesn't talk. I'm not saying that to discount anything that her mom has done. I know that she's done other crimes that she has to pay for and all that. But what I am saying is that the timing of all of this does feel like the arrest that Xana's mom is experiencing, while not related to this case, has something to do with either talking or not talking about something related to this case. King of Swords. Yeah, that's... Maybe they're thinking because Xana's mom has drug charges, that if this case does have an underlying drug component, maybe they fear that Xana has told her mom certain things that they don't necessarily want coming out. And again, I know that her mom already has been undergoing like court processes. So I'm not saying this is why, but I'm saying this is why it was pushed, or the timing, or her talking or not talking about something that she knows about the underlying drug component of this case is why things are unfolding for her the way they are right now. And I also feel like maybe it's so publicly covered. Like, it always seemed a little weird to me that we just had this very brutal murder, and not 2 seconds later, one of the moms is plastered all over the TV about all of her other issues that are not related to this case. Makes me feel like, are they trying to make her look less credible if she would say something that she knew? I don't think she knew too much, because I don't think that Xana knew as much about what was going on as Maddie and Kaylee, but I do think that someone wants to make sure that if she did know anything, as in the mom, that it wouldn't be viewed as credible. And what does it have to do with? It has to do with our killer. Queen of Wands, woman who lost her way. Does the links work? Woman who lost her way. Does the links work for her? And said something along the lines of, well, what can I do now? It's too late to go back. King of Cups. King of Cups would be the emotional connection from the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups counterpart, the King of Cups. So a woman who said, what can I do now? It's too late to go back, would be Dylan. Bethany and Dylan. It's crazy what came out after one another on this list. And again, this is the first time that I've gone through, like, reading through the list. So the next one is B and D have a connection to the link, had a hand in some piece of the plan, knowingly or unknowingly. Three of Cups reversed. One hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. Two of Swords, a difficult decision, weighing your options. Trying to decide, should I do it, should I not? Doubting yourself, not being sure. I really feel as though that's confirming what I said. The Three of Cups, though, makes me feel like we're not just talking about Bethany and Dylan. We're talking about Bethany, Dylan, and that other person that was getting information and passing it along. It's the three of them that are in that little group. There are multiple transactions that took place around the time of the murders being looked into. Knight of Wands and Strength. Multiple transactions. Gas. The gas. They very deeply looked into where someone got gas, at what times. It's almost like they're trying to match up gas receipts or gas transactions with phone pings. I wonder if that has anything to do with proving that someone wasn't with their phone. Three of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, it's like a team not working together. I feel like police, for some reason, are trying to prove that, like, so-and-so got gas here while their phone was pinging there. I don't necessarily know the full importance of that, but I do feel like that's what's happening, or at least was at some point. Someone gave police info connecting Brian to the weapon or to a similar weapon. Six of Wands reversed, so that's like backing up. It's almost like someone got caught in some kind of lie and had to give information because of it. Four of Pentacles reversed is giving. Yeah, it's like giving too much too. It's almost like someone gets backed into a corner during some kind of questioning, and in order to get themselves out of something, they say, oh, well, I know this, or I heard this, or I saw this. Someone, actually, I have to collect these cards because I'm out of cards. Hold on. So as I was just shuffling the cards, I noticed that I have two left, like two remaining on the list when I needed to pick up and shuffle the cards. And that was making me think of like the two surviving roommates. And I feel like that's some kind of confirmation. All right, so someone paid and or threatened Bethany to not say anything and or to wait to call 911 because she wanted to call right away. King of Swords and Nine of Pentacles reversed. That's wild because Nine of Pentacles reversed is like being very guarded. And in the previous reading, I said it felt like someone was guarding her or stopping her from being able to make a phone call. Like watching her very carefully. And then we have the King of Swords. It's almost like someone knew that them waiting to call police was helping to buy time for the killer, but they did not know that that's what it was. And then the last one says, oh, it says vision. The driver of Brian's car and Brian did not talk at all, didn't exchange a single word. There was a code of silence, which I mentioned earlier in this reading. Queen of Wands reversed and Hanged Man reversed. Some kind of delay because the woman did not necessarily do her job correctly. Whatever happened at the Sigma Chi party was supposed to be totally different. And that delay caused such a chain reaction of things to go wrong. It's kind of ironic in a way because I do feel like Ethan was not supposed to be there, not supposed to be able to fight back something. But it's ironic because it's because of the delay in this happening or it taking longer to happen, and that being because of Ethan, that this will end up, the truth will, at least some of the truth will come to light. And it's because of the mistakes made from the delay from Ethan, who was not supposed to be part of this. So it's almost like Ethan is like, oh yeah, I wasn't supposed to be there, but I wasn't supposed to be able to protect Santa, but I'm going to protect her from this side because me causing a delay or making this take longer is what made the mistakes happen. All right, so that is the end of Northwest. I want to pull 2 cards from each of the 4, and then these. I just split it in half again. Oh my gosh, I just randomly, picked it up, and it's marriage and wedding. That makes me think of, I just said it was like Ethan protecting Xana from the other side, and then I randomly picked up. I can't, they're so cute. All right, 2 from each of them. Let's start with Ethan. Apparently he has something to say. Oh. The Magician and 10 of Wands reversed, putting down a heavy burden and making, it's funny because earlier in this reading I said the Magician was making things disappear, and then I just said that it was because of Ethan causing a delay that mistakes happened that will turn this case into the truth. And we had the Magician and a 10 of Wands, so putting down a heavy burden, like Ethan being there was a heavy burden because he wasn't supposed to be, but because of that, things are going to come to light. Because of that, mistakes were made, and because of those mistakes, we're able to see just enough to give us the truth of what happened. Okay, Ethan, we see you. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is making me think like, I just said, like, it's like he's protecting her on the other side, and it's like up on the hill, like up where they are now. He's still protecting her however he can. Xana. Oh. 5 of Swords and 5 of Wands. Holding hands. 5, 5 hands. That's, yeah, the 5 of Swords would be an intimidation, and then 5 of Wands would be like the tension or egos clashing. Portal in reverse and struggle. This card is making me think how before we had the card that said blood moon, and it was 4 wolves howling at the moon. And then portal. It's making me feel like there was just, like everything coming together just brought in this like portal of evil around them that night. And there was like wolves everywhere that were kind of out to get out for themselves. This is making me think every man for himself. Survival of the fittest. Like that's the energy that Xana is trying to portray about that night. Survival of the fittest, every man for themselves. Kaylee. 3 of Pentacles reversed. Page of Cups. So the cards are sitting like this. So it's like the page is holding out the cup and the team is over here. This is giving me the image of the person that is the link that I feel like is the wounded inner child energy, passing the information or directions off to these people. And these are in reverse. So this is saying to me that this isn't a team that's working together, but they're working towards the same cause without realizing that they're working together. So the link passing off directions, information, whatever, to other people. But again, it's that situation where the left hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. So these people are working towards the same goal, but not realizing that they're doing that, which allowed for things to unfold as they did. Legal proceedings and propaganda with fake news on it. Why? This is making me feel like the link has those family members that I talked about that are prominent in some way, have something to do with law, police, lawyers, judges, something. Whoever the link is connected to, their connection is the reason that certain things are not reaching the media. And Maddie. The Sun in reverse. Eight of Swords in reverse. Freedom. A temporary discomfort. Freedom. Maddie's the one who said something to Adam that was temporarily uncomfortable to say, but it was so that she could feel free of giving this information. It's off my chest. I did what I could. I tried. Eight of Swords reversed is also coming face to face with whatever you're most scared of. And then we have the Sun in reverse, which is like essentially saying that Maddie wanted to get whatever it was off of her chest so that she could feel like, at least I tried. Even if this doesn't make a difference, I know that I had information that I passed on to someone else with the intention of this information potentially helping in a positive way. It's almost like in her mind, she was like, I can't just walk away and let this go without feeling like I at least tried to do something. In her mind, she was saying, I know that this is much bigger than me, but I need to try. I need to do something. I can't just be silent and walk away and not say anything. And then the Sun in reverse is saying to me that she had good intentions with this. It wasn't that she... In her mind, it wasn't that she was just throwing caution to the wind and saying, okay, I know this is dangerous, but I'm going to do it anyway. In her mind, I feel as though she believed that she found a way to give this information that would not be unsafe. Which in one of the very first readings I did, what did I say? It was something along the lines of like, Maddie and Kaylee were trying to do the safe thing by getting around other people. Holy crap. That's what it is. I said Maddie and Kaylee were trying to do the safe... Okay, so at that time, I thought that this was referring to getting out of an uncomfortable situation at the bar, which I guess it still is, but it's not in the same way. So I thought it was someone was creeping them out at the bar. They were trying to get out of an uncomfortable situation. Their way to do that was saying, hey, can you walk us here? Then getting around a group of people, and from that group of people, safely being able to exit, as opposed to being like in a corner or somewhere that's secluded with someone that they felt unsafe with. This information now is saying to me kind of that same thing, but so they're in the bar, they give this information, or they try to set up this meeting, and they try to safely not just safely get home, but safely get past this conversation. So they have this conversation, they try to set up this meeting, and it's almost like they have someone watching their back until they can safely get home, knowing that, okay, I took that first step out of this door. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. Maddie has information she can't just hold to herself. She feels like I need to at least try to give this information to someone that I feel like could help. She has someone else try to set up this meeting for her, and it backfires, but she does not know that until it's too late. That's what I'm seeing. But her intention with passing on this information wasn't to... It wasn't just, okay, I'm leaving soon, so I don't care about safety. It wasn't that. It was she thought she found a way to safely give this information without putting her or any of her friends in danger. Beach in reverse, social media in reverse, and party in reverse. So beach reverse would be about the information flowing and not flowing. It's in reverse, so not flowing. Social media in reverse and party in reverse. I wonder if whoever Adam spoke to wasn't like an ill-intentioned person, but there was someone with that person that was. like almost like Adam texts someone to set up a meeting. Person A is sitting there with person B. Person A receives the text from Adam, and either person B oversees it or that they talk about it or something, and that person B is who passes on the information. It's almost like Maddie's plan almost worked safely, but somebody intercepted it, and that person caused chaos. And it wasn't that that person's information caused this plan. It was the plan was already in place, and that person passing on the information about what Maddie had said made the plan worse. It went from scaring them to what ended up happening. But it was only supposed to be Maddie and Kaylee, and then Ethan was the cause of the delay. And if it was only the 2 girls that had passed away, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal as it was being 4 and having it such a mystery. How could one person do this? Why would one person do this? Okay. I'm just going to pull... I'm going to pull one of these from each of the 4 to wrap this up. We're going to start with Ethan again, and I just want one card from each of them to describe I don't know if I want to do the killer or the link, so we're going to do both. One card for allegedly Brian, and one card for the link from Ethan. So first for Brian. Vanth, caretaker of the lost, respite, assistance, and memory. And it's a woman holding a sword, or like a dagger. And for the link. Is this me? And it's a woman with a sword. Caretaker of the lost. So this is saying to me, whoever was talking about something that they weren't supposed to be talking about, this person was directed from this person. Is this me? Like, am I the one that's having this happen? Am I causing this? And one's holding a sword and one's holding a dagger sword. From Xana about Brian. Triumph of lies. And the king, he's like the king skull. King of the lies. The traveler, keeper of the crossroads, restlessness, independence, and appraisal. Keeper of the crossroads. And that's crazy because Xana's card yesterday was a bunch of different street signs, crossroads, and it said signs on it. Now we have keeper of the crossroads, so the one who's in charge of all the lies and the one that's in charge of all the moves, or the directing of other people. Keeper of crossroads also is one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. This street sign not connected to this one. How are they connected? Through the pole in the middle. Who's the pole? The link. Let's do Kaylee about Brian. It's in reverse. Yeah, don't know how to say that name. Queen of Shadows. Wrath, instability, and suspicion. But it was in reverse. I said that I feel like the police traced Brian through the link, but left the link alone. Wrath, in reverse, so no wrath. Instability, in reverse, so stability. Suspicion, so in reverse. We're going to ignore the suspicion. about the woman who's the link. It's in reverse. The Radiant Lord, wisdom, paternalism, and kindness. Paternalism. So it's the link's dad that's prominent. Because we just had this one representing the link, but this card was for the killer. So the killer became into the story because of the link. And the link is connected to being able to keep the crossroads because of her connection to her father. So the link, clues, we're looking for a woman who is further along on her life path than the students and then Brian. Has an influential, either both parents or father, that has something to do with law, government, something like that. This person has a very deeply wounded inner child, but it's not an abandonment wound. It's not. It's something besides abandonment. She was not abandoned by her parents. They still have a connection. But there's a different kind of inner child wound present. And Maddie. The Prince, the forgotten adversary, sorrow, loss, velour, serendipity. And it's a like a person with armor, and they're on fire. And I said that I felt that Brian wore some kind of protective suit and afterwards burnt his clothing. So that would be representing that. Morgan Leafy, the Witch of the Ages, a female, atonement, growth, and deceit. And it's a woman, and behind her is a tree that's branching off in all different directions, kind of like that same symbolism of the sign, where all of the signs are going in different ways, all stemming from the link. And look what she's holding up. A skull. And this is the card that came out for Brian. Very similar. She's holding up the triumph of lies. Okay, that's all for now. We will get into the next one, which is going to be Southeast. Southeast is the one that came out longest of all of them. So that will be next. And then, so all we have left is Southeast and Southwest. So we'll go through that one next. And then the one after it, which doesn't want to come out. And that's the one after it. So after we do them, okay, so we finish them, my assistant has compiled outlines of all of the readings that I've done from these papers. So after we're done this, then we will go into those and pick them apart and keep piecing it together until we get the exact answer of what happened, why. And I would like to piece in the names of who I believe all these parties are, but I want to wait until I'm completely positive because, well, for obvious reasons. Talk to you soon.